This
already
conference
answered.
will now be recorded.
You answered already 2 to 3 questions if you are thorough with the STO process. So minimum 3 questions, sometimes even 5 questions, sometimes 6 questions. That's how they ask from the STO process. And as I told you, if you go for 5 interviews, almost in 5 interviews you may face this particular STO. Maybe at least 3 interviews is for sure. That important. No business will run without STO process. Business may run without consignment, business may run without third party or make to order, but no business will run without a STO process. It's that important. So what is STO? STO is a stock transport order or a stock transfer order. Here, there is no customer and we are not selling any goods here. Okay, there is no customer and there is no sale. This transaction is only between plant to plant, depot to depot, or plant to depot. That means the transfer of the stock from plant to plant to depot, or depot to depot. Anyone it could be the transaction. So there is no customer, there is no sales order, there is no sales. STO is you could say 90% process. This is not an SD process actually. It's a process. Even the configuration also we do it under the SPRO, materials management. The first question, very important in the interview is also, who configured STO in your project? Okay, who configured STO in your project? SD will do that. Okay, even though I say this process belongs to and the configuration is also done by sorry, in the SPRO but who will configure this in the real time? SD consultants will configure the STO. So that's the reason this is so important in the interviews. So what is STO? Stock transfer order. So this is just transferring the goods from one of our location to other location. Let's say LG. LG manufacture products. Okay, they manufacture products in the plant. But where do we buy the products? We buy the products in store, right? So how the materials are coming to the store? You take any material, any business. So they manufacture in the plant, and that material should be available for the customer for sale, right? So how do they do that? So they'll have some depot or a godown for every city. So from the plant, the stock will first come to that particular depot, and from there it will be distributed to all the stores, right? So there is no customer here, there is no sale here. The stock is just being transferred from one location to other location. So how it works? Let's take a automobile scenario. So receiving plant, let's say I'll call this as a dealer. Receiving plant is a dealer. Okay, that is dealership, car dealership. And supplying plant, let us say Maruti plant. So some customer has walked in to buy the car. It's not available at the moment, or else dealer has already raised a purchase order to plant asking for the stock. So you see, receiving plant and supplying plant. And you see, this is a purchase order. If it is SD process, we should have a sales order, right? It's a purchase order. So dealer has raised a purchase order to supplying plant asking for the stock. So now we have taken customer order against what? Anyone? Against what we have taken customer order? Purchase order. We can also create orders against purchase orders, right? Even though the stock is not available, right? So here what happened? So we have raised the purchase order to supplying plant. That means Maruti plant, let's say. Now this plant has done delivery with reference to this purchase order. VL10D. This is the T code VL10D. delivery with reference to purchase order. When the supplying, okay, in STO we have two steps, like step two and step one. So at any time, if we say STO, by default, it is always a two-step. STO by default is always a two-step. Standard SAP system delivers STO as two-step, unless until we configure it as again one step. So in the two-step process, whenever we do the delivery with reference to purchase order, the stock status at the dealer will say stock in transit. Let's say this dealer is somewhere in Bangalore, right? He's the dealer in Bangalore, and the plant is somewhere in the Haryana or Chandigarh. So how much time it may take for the journey? It is maybe 2000, 3000 kilometer, maybe 3, 4 days, maybe 5 days, something it could be, right? So today, customer has placed an order. Okay, fine. Maybe after 2 days, if customer is inquiring about what is the status about my order, then what is the answer? Anyone? What could be the answer? That is
In transit.
stock in transit, right? Stock in transit. But when that stock in transit will become actual stock here, when we do MIGO. Okay. So this is two-step. When the supply plant is doing a delivery with reference to purchase order, then the stock status will show as a stock in transit. And when that stock in transit will become actual stock, only when we do MIGO at the receiving plant. Right? So this is two-step process, STO two-step. So you see this in STO, the transaction is between plant to plant. Both belong to a single company code. Plant 1 might be in Mumbai and plant 2 might be in Chennai. So it's in a single company code. This is called as STO, stock transfer order or stock transport order. Or we can also call this as intra-company. We don't use this word in the real time, but for our better understanding, we can call this as intra-company STO, where the transaction is between company two plants of within a single company code. There is intercompany STO process called, this is plain STO, right? We have intercompany STO. So what is that intercompany STO? Intercompany STO is plant 1, plant 2. Plant 1 belong to one company code, plant 2 belong to another company code. But both the company codes belong to same company. This is intercompany STO, right? Here the transaction is between the plants. Here the transaction is between the company codes. Right? What is pricing routine 22? Anyone? Sorry, pricing routine 22.
It
We
is for
have pricing,
it's for
right?
intercom.
Intercompany pricing routine 22. It is checking that whether two plants are belonging to two different company codes or not, because then only it is an intercompany sales transaction, right? So that is pricing routine 22. Okay, so we'll come back to that again, but yeah, so there are two processes, intercompany STO and STO. There are two processes. The next is one-step process. What is one-step process? Receiving plant raising a purchase order to supplying plant, and supplying plant doing a delivery with reference to purchase order. That's it. No MIGO. The stock is already shown as an actual stock here. Okay. When the supplying plant has done the delivery with reference to purchase order, then this is already an actual stock here. But in what scenarios you go for one-step process? In what scenarios we go for one-step process? That is, when is your plant and depot are side by side. Let's say you walk into some Best Buy store or you walk into some electronic store, and you buy a TV. Okay, you buy a TV. So from where you need to get this TV? Okay, you are in the store, the showroom, and you have chosen one model and you've done the payment. So now from where the TV has to come? Do it need to come from the plant?
From Gordon.
Just go down, right? So that can be in the maybe the first floor, right? Then we go for one step process. You don't need MyGo for it. They are not a distance apart, right? Then you go for one step process. So you don't need MyGo here. The moment you do the delivery, that means you've done the payment here, then your product is ready to deliver. If they give it to you, you can just take it, right? So from where they need to get it, they should get it from maybe from the go down or first floor or second floor or maybe the next door. It could be anything where we don't need MyGo. This is one step process. When your two locations are side by side, then you can go for this. If your locations are distance apart, then you can go for a two-step process, right? But with both the cases, we don't have customer, we don't have sales order. Okay, there's no sales, right? Yeah. So let's see the configuration. So I'm saying that in STO process, there's no customer, right? There we are not doing any sales. But in STO process, we create customer. And why we create customer? And who is the customer in STO? Let's see. So before we proceed with the actual configuration of STO, there are two master data setups we need to do. Mark my word, just out of these 4 lines, you will face one question in the interview. You go 3 interviews, at least in 2 interviews, you'll face one question just out of these 4 lines. STO is such important. So PO type, there is no sales order here, so it's a purchase order. The PO type is UB because these all are MM process, right? So these all are MM document types, MM item categories. So PO type is UB, then STO type is NL, then NLN, and item category determination. Be thorough with the controls. 3 to 6 questions you will face out of this topic. So these all are controls, right? These all are controls, but this is a master data setup. So as I told that we don't have any customer here, but we create a customer. So what is that customer? That is nothing but receiving plant. Receiving plant, we create it as a customer. So that's also an important interview question. That is, in STO, we are not selling anything, right? There is no sale and there is no customer. But why we are creating receiving plant as a customer? So why we are creating receiving plant as a customer in STO? Because even though we are not selling, we need ship to party details, right? To do the delivery, ship to party. So for that reason, receiving plant, we create it as a customer to determine ship to party details. And second thing, this material should be available in both the plants, receiving plants and supplying plant. Let's say if the material itself is not available in the plant, so how could I raise a purchase order? So material should be available in both the plants. These are the two master data things which we need to check. Then the actual configuration. So let's go on to the configuration STO. So STO process configuration. Let's go to SPRO. As I mentioned, this process is almost a MM process. So the complete configuration of STO, we'll see it under the MM. We don't have any configuration under HD except one integration. There is no configuration in SD. The complete configuration of STO is under MM. And as I told you, but SD will do this in the project. They'll also ask this question in the interview. Who configured STO in your project? SD will do that, even though it belongs to MM. So materials management, purchasing, and purchase order, then set up stock transport order. Then this is what the configuration we have. So the first configuration is defining the shipping data for plants. We have both the plants here. We have both the plants. That is our supplying plant and receiving plant. Both are here. So first select, let's assume that this is a receiving plant. Okay. If this is the receiving plant, which we created as a customer. Take the customer number, go to the receiving plant and assign the customer number here and that customer sales area here, the receiving plant sales area, right? Then next, if this is the next one is, let's say if this is supplying plant, okay? If this is supplying plant, then assign only supplying sales area, okay? Nothing to do with the customer here. Assign supplying sales area, right? So this is the first configuration what we set up, that is shipping data for plants. And once the shipping data for plants is set up, the next is create checking rule. If you remember, we already discussed about OVZ9, but that is a checking group and checking rule. So what is a checking rule here? Checking rule tells system where we want to perform the availability check. Okay. So A means sales order. By default, we perform availability check at the order level. A means sales order. But we also have B here. B means delivery. We have discussed, right? In some scenarios, we have to perform availability check in delivery, and the STO is one of that scenario. So here where the checking rule is. Then define checking rule. Define checking rule. This is, you remember OVC9? The combination of our checking group and checking rule. Okay. Combination of checking group and checking rule. Here we activate stock in transfer. Okay. Here where we activate stock in transfer. Because whenever the delivery is done, the status of the stock in two-step will show as stock in transfer. Then assign delivery type and checking rule. So here with the combination of our PO type UB and SPL means a supplying plant, NL is the STO type, and that is delivery type, and you see B. B is assigned. Right? So this is assigning or checking rule to all the combination. Then assign document type one step. As I told you, right, by default, it is always delivered as two-step, but you can make this process as one step. So where do we do that? Here in this configuration with a combination of SPLT means your supplying plant, PLNT means your receiving plant, and your PO type UB, and you see this checkbox, one step. Only when you activate this, then this will become a total one-step process. If not, by default, at any time, this process would be two-step process by default. And STO process is not relevant for over delivery. Over delivery, because STO is relevant only for under delivery and unlimited delivery. You remember in the customer master, we have tolerances, customer master, sales area data, shipping tab, we have tolerances, right? Unlimited delivery. Like you remember there is unlimited delivery at that time, but we have not discussed. I told you that that is applicable for in-house customer. Who is that in-house customer? This receiving plant. So STO process is relevant for either unlimited delivery or under delivery. As this is relevant for unlimited delivery, then there is no question of over delivery. So in the interviews, if they ask you why STO is not relevant for over delivery, because it is relevant for unlimited delivery. So that's the configuration what we do here, step one and under delivery. So that is what the configuration here for STO, except another one step. So here the integration comes. That is STO, as we discussed, there is no sale. We are not selling anything. We already know, right? Even though you don't sell, but if you are doing a delivery, there should be a billing document. We already discussed it, right? What kind of billing document we'll have here? Anyone? What kind of billing document? Pro forma invoice, right? Even though there is no sale here, but the goods are being delivered, so we need to raise a pro forma invoice. So how the pro forma invoice, that is where the SD integration comes. Until now, whatever we have seen is purely configuration. But you remember anyone? Copy controls, we have discussed a field called as price source. Anyone you remember? Copy controls, we discussed one field, price source, the VDLF. This is where we assign that price source, because by default price will be always copied from sales order to billing or delivery to billing. But here we don't have sales order, we have purchase order. So how the price will be copied from purchase order to pro forma invoice? So that's where we'll have the SD integration, copying price from purchase order to pro forma invoice. So the complete step-by-step configuration is okay. One more thing, as we already discussed, right? So whenever how we will be learning about this particular process. So how we'll learn about the process, business process. First is process, second is controls, third is configuration, right? Configuration is very important for STO process. They may ask in the interviews, tell me the configuration steps of STO process. You need to tell what you do in the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. In other process, STO may not be important, but here in STO process, config steps are very important. Okay, and they may also ask to tell the not only the process and not only the controls, they may also ask question, tell the config steps, right? So these are the config steps, and here where we have the scenario of integration with the proforma invoice. So this is where the SD comes into the picture for pricing. So how do we set up the configuration? What is V/06? Anyone? V/06. Condition type, right? Pricing condition type. So pricing is not only for SD, we already discussed it. Pricing also from MM. Pricing is also for MM. So V/06 is for SD pricing conditions. M/06 is for MM. M/06 is for MM condition type. Here you will not see PR00. You don't see our PR00 base price. You see, there is no PR00 here. Condition types, no PR00. Or there is no K004 material discount. You see, because that all are SD prices, right? SD conditions. But this is MM. So what we need to do here is like PR00 for SD, MM has PBXX. PBXX is the standard condition type for MM, gross price. So this is the standard condition for MM, and you don't see this in the V/06. We don't see PBXX in the V/06. So now how the integration works? You look into these controls. With the same controls, you need to create a PBXX condition in SD. That is under the V/06 with the same controls. Once you create that, then create a STO pricing procedure and place the condition type into STO pricing procedure. Do we have copy controls? Yes. Copy controls here, very important. F8NL, proforma invoice delivery related and STO delivery, F8NL. So in the pricing procedure determination here, so from where system is taking the document pricing procedure, because we don't have a sales order, right? It is taking from the F8 WOFA billing document, and that is T, right? So this is the configuration setup we need to do pricing procedure determination. And in the copy controls, as I told you, VTFL, we need to maintain price source as A. Telling system, you take price into the proforma invoice from purchase order. Price source option A is nothing but purchase order. So you're telling system, take it from the purchase order. This is one integration with SD. And the second scenario, what you'll be facing in the interviews or in the real time as well is whenever the STO is the purchase order is created and you want a system to create automatic delivery in the backend and automatic billing also in the backend. The delivery and purchase pro forma invoice has to be automatically created in the backend. So how that works? There is a last config step. SPRO, materials management, purchasing, purchase order, set up stock transfer order. Here, activate automatic delivery creation and CRM billing. So if you want to create automatic delivery and billing in the backend itself, when you create a purchase order for STO, you need to set up this with a combination of your purchase order type and your SPL supplying plant. You activate this automatic delivery creation and you activate the checkbox CRM billing for your combination. So system will automatically create a delivery and billing, and system will copy the price from purchase order to billing document pro forma invoice. Right. So this is about the STO process. We have intercompany STO also, as I already told you. Intercompany STO, there also we don't sell, but the transaction is between the company codes. This is just between the plants within a country, and that is transaction between the, but there we'll have a intercompany invoice. Okay. Here we just had a pro forma invoice, but in the in intercompany STO, we'll have intercompany invoice, and there we'll have intercompany pricing procedure called as ICAA01. Here we are creating our own procedure, right? But for intercompany STO, there is a standard pricing procedure called as ICAA01. If not, everything works the same. But there is one more process called as intercompany sales and, yeah, this is the procedure ICAA01. Intercompany sales and billing. Intercompany sales and billing is an SD process. This is SD process, not MM. This is SD, and intercompany sales and billing, we configure it under, we do this configuration under sales and distribution. Sales and distribution, sorry, not basic functions. Intercompany, sorry, sales and distribution, billing, under billing, intercompany billing, and we do it at the sales document type level. Right? Intercompany sales and billing is a SD process. But here also the same pricing routine 22, and we have intercompany condition types IV01 and PI01. So what is intercompany sales and billing? In what scenarios we go for this particular process? That is, whenever the materials are not maintained in plant. You see here, the transaction is between the ordering company and the delivering company. Here the transaction is not between the plants. Intercompany sales and billing, the transaction is between the ordering company code and the delivering company code. Right? And here that's what routine 22 checks. That is whether the two different plants are belonging to two different company codes or not. Because then only we call this as intercompany sales and billing. Okay. So how this process works? Let's say you take any material where we don't have that particular material being maintained or manufactured in the plant nearby you. Let's say you take this as India and this as some US company code, but both belong to same company. So now customer place an order to the business for some X product, and this material is not maintained in this India company code. Let's say you take this high luxury products like Rolls Royce or Bentley or Ferrari. You can buy it here. You can buy in India, but they don't have manufacturing. They have only booking office. You can only book the product here, and that will be either imported from wherever the location it is available. So let's say if it's Rolls Royce, you booked it here in India. So immediately what happens? A TOR will be triggered to the plant where this material is actually available, right? So a TOR is done to the plant and the delivery will be directly done to the customer. In STO, intercompany sales and billing, the delivery is directly done to the customer by the supplying plant, that is delivery company. And there is a intercompany sales and billing. You see, what is this intercompany invoice? See, this company, India also should make some profit, right? So intercompany invoice might be, let's say, I'll take simple value like $6,000. But for customer, they'll raise an invoice for $10,000, making some $4,000 profit, right? So that is intercompany invoice. We'll have two invoices here. One is customer invoice and one is intercompany invoice, right? So configuration, everything is same. Like you could check even the document step-by-step configuration. But only the thing here, which screenshots every configuration is available here. But only thing what is very important here you should know is this transaction we never used it. That is VF04. We know what is VF01 and other transactions, but VF04, this is one transaction we never used it earlier for billing. We use this transaction here to create a billing document with relevance to what? Usually with relevance to what we create a billing, anyone?
Delivery.
Delivery. But in the intercompany STO, we create intercompany billing. You see, by default, you see delivery related. But if you want to process intercompany sales and billing, you need to uncheck this and activate intercompany billing. But this is only for the intercompany sales and billing. If not, rest everything, it is delivery related. By default, it may be order related in other cases. If not, always it is delivery related. But only for intercompany STO, you need to come here, you take out this and activate intercompany billing, right? So this is intercompany sales and billing. So intercompany, again, I told you, right, what they check in the resume. This is one scenario, what they check in the resume. When intercompany sales and billing is possible, anyone? In, when it is possible? Only when you have two company codes, right? If it is, if you want to call it as intercompany sales and billing, there should be two company codes. That's what they check in the resume. Let's say you put a Maruti, okay? You put Maruti as your client, but you company sales and billing. Do Maruti have plant like any other business apart from India? No other business, right? Intercompany is still not possible there. It should be only it could be only STO, but not intercompany sales and billing. So this made to order and intercompany sales and billing. These are the two scenarios what they check in the roles and responsibility of a project so that they can put some questions and find out whether you're real time or not. Right. So this is for today, and this is what the last process, and we could conclude this batch here today. But before that, let me tell you what you need to focus and what you need to prepare. So for resume preparation, I'll upload 3 videos. You go through that, prepare a draft resume, and come back so that we'll discuss one-to-one about the resume. But coming to the preparation, so what all you need to focus to get into the interview? In a 40 minutes or 45 minutes interview, you will not face more than 30 questions. But out of that 30 questions, if you do a small analogy, you will be knowing from where actually these 30 questions would be. And you could majorly focus on those concepts. So how it works? 5 SD concepts: pricing, revenue account determination, availability check, and credit management, output, maybe 6 you could put as copy controls. So whenever I'm discussing these concepts, did I mention they will be asking questions out of these concepts? Anyone? And did I also mention how many questions there will be? Now from STO, how many I told? Minimum three questions they would be asking, right? Sometimes it could be one or two, but it can go up to three, right? And whenever I'm telling these concepts, I also told you, right, from pricing, maybe you can face two questions. For credit management, maybe two questions, right? So six questions, that means 12 questions is only from these concepts if you put at least two of each concept, right? Likewise, business process, standard, consignments, third party, IPO. You'll never face question on make to order unless you put in the resume STO and intercompany STO. So these concepts are enough for you to clear the interview, because if you take 12 here and another 12 questions here, so 20 questions, I'll put only 20, not even 24. So 20 questions will be from only these concepts, just only this. Another 10 questions might be from item category, right? Or that another maybe from some other like technical questions, maybe a user exit or something else, whatever it could be, right? But out of 30 questions, you know from where at least 25 questions would be coming, and your focus also should be on these things, right? And the other thing what you do is, apart from this, focusing on this, from today, what you need to do is do this exercise, everyone. You know allinterviews.com, there is a website with all the questionnaires, allinterview.com. We already have these all questions. Everything is documented with us, but do this exercise. So go to this particular website, all interview, and here you will see all the companies here, or you can click on these companies here on the top, and you'll see all the IT companies here by alphabet. Okay, let's say it is IBM. So at least to choose the 10 top companies, IBM, Wipro, TCS, Accenture, Infosys, like this, at least to choose 10 companies. And let's say go to IBM, click on this IBM. Then system will open all the technologies here. Okay, every technology system will open. Scroll down, you see all the technologies in IBM. Scroll down, you should also see IBM SAP SD. Every module will be there. SAP somewhere here. You see, there are 310 questions here. What are these questions? Someone has faced IBM interview and they don't know the answer. So they want to know the answer and they have posted the questions here. Or else someone has gone through IBM and they want to share the questions. So they have posted here. So you could see all the questions and you could also see the answers, but make sure you cross check the answers. Sometimes answers may not be correct. So you see, tell me some different partner functions. Anyone? Do you know this? What is material type? BOM is used in which modules? What is routing? What is work center? Valuation class. Can you copy one inquiry to many quotations? Is it possible? I hope we discuss. Okay, in the other batch we're discussing. What is pricing procedure? Right? So how is plan to determine? What is the criteria to determine plan? And someone has answered it, but sometimes you see answers wrong here. Cross check as per our discussion, cross check the answers. And this is page number 1. Like this, you click on the next. So try to do this exercise because these are the most frequently asked questions in the interview. And you see this question was almost seen by close to 70,000 people. What is the integrations between SDMM, FI? You see, can anybody give me answer for this? But we already have a complete document of this integration, right? We already learned it. Apart from this, we already have a complete integration document of all these modules. You see, MMSD, FI integrations. Every resource is available with you when you open this folder. Make sure now you know what is available with you and how to use them. Tickets document is available with you. Go through that. Okay. So do this exercise. This will give you lots of confidence in TOR, which exactly is requirement class, requirement type. What is requirement type and requirement class? We have discussed it. In the item category, we have discussed about usage, right? What is your role in item category as per client requirement? So customization. You see, what is client requirement in schedule line category? What is the difference between listing and exclusion? So like this, there will be lots of questions like this. We already discussed this, this every question we have discussed it, right? But these are questions now are random. This is the same way you will face the questions in the interview, right? Randomly. So do this exercise, everyone. Okay, start your preparation, and you don't have much of time. Try to upload your resume at the earliest by April 10th. Don't go anything beyond April 10th or April 15th. Even never you can finish your preparation. You cannot put a dot on your preparation. Don't think that I'll finish everything, I'll learn everything, then only I'll upload resume. No one can finish everything in the SAP or any module. Never your preparation will be completed. So put a dot at some point, just upload the resume. Okay. When I said put a dot means like it's not without preparation. In the next 15 days, try to do 3 revisions. 3 revisions you need to finish in the next 15 days. How you will plan? Just to do it. When I say revision, again, don't start it from enterprise structure. Okay. First revision, start from the sales document type controls and finish until the last. Second revision might be from pricing, and the third revision might be again from pricing to business process. Like this, do 3 revisions. At least 7 to 10 hours a day is enough. Not you don't need anything more than this. Or else, watch the videos continuously day and night. What are the discussions we have done and what are the classes I uploaded the videos, right? Watch those videos. Don't do anything. You don't read, don't do anything. Just watch the videos. And while watching a video, I would be mentioning, right? They may ask this as a question. This is interview question. Just to make a note of that at least. And do the all interview question. This particular. That is enough. Upload your resume. You can never finish your preparation. There is no end for preparation. Just upload the resume. Right? So I'll upload the 2-3 videos about the resume preparation. Please go through them and come up with a draft resume. We can fix some time for 10 minutes and we could discuss and freeze. In that particular draft resume itself, we have how to choose the clients, what should be a skill set, roles and responsibility, everything we have discussion on that. So please come with a draft resume so that we can freeze our final resume. And once we discuss on and we freeze the resume, I'll also share you the contact of that consultancy people. You can talk to them, put every question possible to them, get confidence, then you take the documents from them. You don't need to pay the total amount to them initially. Maybe some 3,000 or 5,000 you pay and take the company name first. And once you got placed, you got offer, pay the remaining amount and take the physical documents, pay slip and everything. Right? So this is the process. So you're done with the training. So how you approach the industry, that is prepare your resume, finish your preparation, and then contact these guys and take the experience company name and upload the resume. This all should happen in the next 15 days. So you have any issue in between doing any of this, you can get in touch with me and you could continue another batch so that you'll have that same motivation every day attending the session. But don't take a break. Don't think that I have spent 2 months. Let me relax for 3 days and I'll start preparation. Even a day break, again, you'll need to start from first. So don't take any break. Continue from tomorrow. Maintain the same schedule every day as you are attending the session. Or if you want to have that feel, you can attend one more batch so that you'll get that every day how you are attending the session and preparing video and everything, the same, right? So any questions, please go ahead.
Praveen, I don't have access to this B drive. Can you send it
Yeah,
to me?
yeah. So whatever the documents or videos, everything is pending. I'll make sure this weekend you get everything.
So the next
Okay?
batch,
And
the same timing when
mm,
it starts.
it's starting on 14th April.
14th April.
Yeah,
Praveen, you said you'll upload iDoc videos.
I'll upload iDocs and FS, debugging, variant configuration, rebates. All this
Yes.
I'll upload.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
Praveen, do
Just
you have any
touch and
dump
go.
for the certification? Certification dump.
Certification, there is a dump, but actually what happened is SAP has refreshed their systems very recently, and we don't know how sure it would be because one guy has failed the certification with just 3%. With a difference of 3%, this guy has failed. So we are just again verifying the dump. Just give me time. I can send you the latest one.
Thank you.
Okay. Maybe after a week, just put a message on WhatsApp. I'll just attach it there itself and send you.
Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
Praveen, I was trying to get in batch to
Yeah.
join the evening batch.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, please. Join.
Couple of times I sent a message, but I didn't get one.
I
I'll try.
sent the link yesterday. Please check.
Yeah, I
Yesterday I
didn't
have
get.
sent the
Okay, okay, fine. Let me see. I didn't get
yeah.
it. Maybe me. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yesterday I remember I have sent it.
Yes, you sent it, but
So,
yes,
hello.
you.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So the last class was updated 19th, right? After that, there is no videos are not uploaded, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'll upload. As I mentioned, by weekend I'll make sure every document, video is everything available.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you.
And you would reach me anytime later also if you have any issue, anything you can reach me, everyone.
Yeah. Sure, sir. Sure. Sure.
Praveen, do you have any videos for support projects like any issues, respects, like how do we solve it? Love those.
Sorry, can you repeat, Jesse?
Do you have any videos for support projects, Praveen, like
Support.
issue? Yeah.
Okay. See, support, there will not be any separate video, but what you could do is just go through the ticket documents we have, right?
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
gone
go
through.
through the, uh, yeah, that should help actually because there are various tickets over there and that should help you.
Okay,
Okay. Because for support, there will not be any separate kind of this thing.
okay.
Okay.
Sir,
So if you are
sir,
stuck up,
also can you share me that final dark, sir? Actually, I couldn't see in the folder drive. So yesterday I sent you mail.
yeah, yeah.
Can you attach to the?
I'll send it. I'll
It will
make
be
sure
help.
I'll send this all documents and everything once again to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
So any questions,
Praveen,
please?
hi Divya here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Praveen, actually, the January batch folder on the Google, right? I don't have access to that. Apparently, the access is for my husband's email address. I was wondering if you
Mm-hmm.
could add my Gmail address to it and I could have a direct access to it.
Sure, sure, sure.
Thank
Put
you.
that message in the WhatsApp so I can share
Sorry?
you the access. Put that message in the WhatsApp.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Any other questions, anyone?
You, Praveen, for your patience and detailed session.
Thanks you, Anthony. So anything later, you could please reach me. I'll be one point contact until you get placed, even after you placed. You are in a support project, you need some issue, anything issue you have, just send it to me. If I could do it, I could do it, or I can give some guidance from where you can get it, the help. Okay, or there is paid supports as well. So we have every resource available at our disposal. Only thing is we have to use it. How better we will use it. Okay. So thanks everyone for attending these sessions and all the best and good luck. You will be placed. I hope you should be knowing this by time. You will be placed. These 15 days will decide. Please put all your efforts and energy. For these 15 days, you will get placed. There are openings in Genpact. One of my dear friend is working there, and she could refer a couple of profiles. If anyone is ready with your resume, send your resume. I can send it to Genpact. Okay, only ECC. They don't need S4 HANA. Only ECC. They are paying up to 12 lakhs. So if someone is interested for Genpact only with ECC support projects, only support. So you could send me a profile, so I can send it there. Right. So yeah, any other questions, anyone, before we conclude for today and close this batch? Please attend any of the other batches going on parallelly, maybe in the evening or morning as per your time availability. So that gives you more confidence because you will be repeating the subject. You will be in again touch with me. So that gives you confidence until you get placed.
Praveen, for the next batch that's starting on 14th of April, will I have to send you an email every day to ask you to send the link?
No, only for once.
Okay.
Only for once, but don't wait until that long. Try to join one more batch at 7:15 to 8:15 now in another 5 minutes, or maybe India time evening 8 p.m.
Okay.
Try to join any of
So
these two batches.
I'm actually in US, so right now it's
Okay.
9:40 for me. So I was wondering if there is a
Okay.
batch that is earlier or maybe later when it's my
Okay.
morning. So your night would be my morning. So if you have any
8
night
p.m.
batches, 8
in the
p.m.
evening 8 p.m. Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. You've already started that one, right? That's already passed
8
through
p.m. right? Document types.
document types.
Document
Okay,
types. Item
okay.
category also completed.
All right. Okay.
Okay. And you can join any
Okay.
batch, anyone. If you cannot make through in this season, maybe you are going in September season, you want to do a revision, or maybe you got a job after 2 years, you want to again just do a revision to change the job. At any time you can join. Again, you don't need to pay anything. Anytime, any number of batches you can join until you get the confidence on the subject and get through.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Praveen.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir. Thank you
I'm
very much.
my best to you. So please utilize the hard work and just get into the industry. Everyone will get placed. Only time matters. But how much effort you'll put in the next 15 days will decide. So good everyone, and thanks everyone for attending the sessions and all the best. Good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank